Well, this here is the all-new Hyundai i20. Now officially it takes on the likes of the Maruti Baleno, the Toyota Glanza, the Tata Altroz as well as the Honda Jazz. But I reckon that out of all those other cars, this one offers you the best interiors, the best list of features, the best backseat experience as well as the best looks. But we'll of course get to the bottom of the looks and the features in a bit. But before starting this video, let's jump inside, drive this car around and tell you what makes this such a special car to drive. And of course, at the end of it, we'll tell you a summary of this car and let you know whether you should consider it in your shortlist or should you simply go ahead and buy it. But before beginning this video, here's a small message from our sponsors, Budmore.com. Now, what is Budmore? Well, Budmore, as you might be aware by now, is the online expert in terms of spare parts. If you want a spare part for your vehicle, they have it in their list. They have the most extensive spare parts catalog, right from the most affordable small car to the top of the line luxury car, you name the car, and they have the spare parts for it. And the best point is that they have the spare parts from a host of different component makers and different price segments for the same spare part. So if you want to buy a cheaper part from a different maker or a more expensive part from a different component maker, they have the option for you. And they also promise you 10 days assured return without any hassles. If you don't like the spare part, you can send it back and they'll return all the money to you in the first 10 days. So Budmore.com is the name of the website. You can check them out on your iOS as well as Android devices as well. And they really are the experts when it comes to spare parts. Well, so how is the Hyundai i20 to drive? I have only good news for you, and that good news of course is that this is a very nice car to drive. If you are a keen driver, you'll enjoy driving the 1-liter turbocharged petrol engine which makes 120 bhp and comes with the choice of a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. If you are someone who doesn't call himself a keen driver, you just want a car from driving point A to point B, then of course you can choose the base 1.2-liter petrol, and that's also a very good engine option for you, and it makes 83 bhp in manual form and 88 bhp in automatic form. And of course, if you are someone who just buys this car for the fuel efficiency, then of course you can choose the diesel version, the 1.5 diesel, which makes 100 bhp as well, and of course is very good in terms of fuel efficiency. In fact, fuel efficiency wise, all the engine options are very good, and definitely they will put a smile on your face in terms of the low cost of running this car. What will also put a smile on your face is the 5-year warranty package that this car comes with, and that is something which is again class leading from Hyundai. And overall spare parts are also pretty reasonable and are one of the most affordable spare parts in this segment. But we'll talk about those things on some other day. Today, let's focus on the driving bits of this car, and I have good news for you. No matter which engine you choose, no matter which gearbox you choose, the i20 is a fantastic car to drive. It's a great car for people who call themselves keen drivers. Now, the steering wheel of this car is very good. It's much better than the last car was. Now, the earlier i20 was overtly light in terms of the steering wheel, and sometimes on the highway it used to feel a little nervous, but not this one, because this one really is a very nice steering wheel. It offers you the right amount of weight. It's neither too heavy, neither is it too soft, so it's got the right amount of weight, the right amount of feedback. It's very accurate, very crisp, and also very communicative, and in that sense it's a nice car for people who call themselves keen drivers. Now, this isn't a car which you'll take out on a racetrack. It's a family car, so people who buy family cars want them for comfort and not for any shenanigans on the racetrack. So in that sense also it's a good car, because the suspension setup on this car is a very good mix of sporty handling as well as agility as well as comfort, because on the highway it sticks to the road like a leash. It offers you very good confidence, very good overall solidity, and you just feel like you can bump up the speed. It's not a car where you'll feel nervous if you're driving in excess of 100 kph. So in that sense it's a pretty good car. And what you'll also like about this car is the fact that it drives really well inside the city. So if you're driving this car in the city, this car will keep you very comfortable. It'll soak in the bumps without any fuss. And this car, of course, remember, comes with 16-inch alloy wheels with wide section tires, so the grip levels also are very good. And on the highway it feels very stable. It inspires a lot of confidence when you increase speeds. And talking about the speeds, this engine that I'm driving right now is the 1-liter turbocharged engine with the 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. Now, what the dual clutch automatic does is essentially, with 7 speeds to choose from, it enhances the flexibility of the engine. So if you're doing speeds in excess of 100 kph on the highway, this car is rolling at about 1700-1800 rpm, which makes the cabin a very quiet place to be. In fact, it's only a 3-cylinder engine, but you will never feel like it's a noisy or a buzzy engine. It doesn't feel like a 3-cylinder at all. Refinement levels are so good. And it's also a very responsive engine, ultra responsive, which makes it a great car for people who drive a lot in the city. Now, if you are someone who drives the diesel, who wants to buy the diesel, I drove the diesel as well. It comes with a 6-speed manual. There's no automatic option at the moment for that, but that's quite okay because the manual is a very light gearbox to use. The clutch is also very light. It's a very accurate gearbox, so it's a nice and easy gearbox to operate. It's a very refined engine as well, and refinement levels are very good. When you start from cold, sometimes you'll just think that maybe it's a petrol engine. It is so quiet inside the cabin, and the diesel engine also is very responsive. So from about 1600 1700 rpm, it starts responding to your throttle inputs, which makes it a nice car for moving around in town. And as I said, no matter which engine you choose, you might choose the petrol, the diesel, the automatics, the manuals. This is a nice car to drive with a good mix of agility, sportiness, as well as comfort. So what is my overall reading of the driving bits of this car? Well, I reckon that Hyundai has taken the game forward with the new i20 in the driving department, and definitely it's a car which you should keep in your shortlist. In fact, it should be right on the top of your list if you're planning to buy any premium hatchback, because driving wise, it really does put a smile on your face. A double thumbs up from my side in the driving department, and I'll give this car a very good score of 91 out of 100. It definitely is the nicest car to drive overall, with a nice mix of everything going for it. And as I just said at the start with the intro, it really is a car which has no limitations, and you definitely don't feel like a compromise even with the driving bit. Well, so I'm inside the cabin of the Hyundai i20 now. This car feels very plush, very modern, and very, very sophisticated on the inside. It's a technological love fest inside over here, because it really is a technology laden car. You of course get the BlueLink app, you get the best in class touchscreen system. It's a 10-inch touchscreen. You also get digital display for the dials. These dials have been taken from the Verna, and they look very cool. And in terms of safety kit also, you get a whole host of equipment. You of course get traction control, you get tire pressure monitors, you of course get cruise control, and of course multiple airbags. You also get a sunroof, and Hyundai is taking care of everything. So you get an air purifier inside the car. It really is something which you need in today's day and age of pollution. And of course you get wireless charging for your mobile phone set up over here, and it's also a cool pad, so in case your mobile phone warms up while you're charging it, the pad here cools it, and it doesn't feel very warm. The battery doesn't feel very warm, so that's also a very thoughtful touch from Hyundai. In terms of the quality, it's very nice. All the materials are very plush, and this car also gets the BlueLink app, which makes it a connected car. So just from your mobile phone, you can start it, switch it off, check the fuel, and do a host of other activities with this car. And the seat comfort also is generally very good. The earlier i20 had a softish setup for the seats. The cushioning was very soft, but this one is really very good. Support for your low back is good. You get side bolsters, long seat squabs, so your heavy legs as well as tall legs can really be taken care of. And overall, it's really a nice place to be in. It feels very sophisticated, very urbane, very mature, and I'll give the front end of the cabin a strong score of 9.5 out of 10. It really is a no-nonsense cabin, a no-compromise cabin in terms of features, in terms of ambience, as well in terms of the looks. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, so I'm in the back seat of the i20 now. Now my preference is 5'10", and I always adjust the front seat for my height and driving position. So if you are someone whose chauffeur is also about 5'10", 5'11" maybe, and you're of the same height, then you'll be more than happy in these seats, because the seats offer you great amounts of knee room. Headroom also is sufficient. In fact, even if you're about 6'1" or 6'2", you'll be more than happy in these seats because of the space. And these seats are generally very comfortable as well. You get very good support for your under thighs, and the seat base also is nice and wide. It's also long, so even people with lanky legs will have no problem whatsoever. There's a bit of a lump in the floor panel, but it's not too much, so whoever's sitting in the middle has plenty of place to stretch his feet. You of course get AC vents at the back, a small place where you can keep your cell phone and wallet, and a USB charger as well. And you can also have only 2 occupants and take the armrest down like this and sit here like the boss. Now it's a very good place to be, because the windows are also nice and large. You also get a quarter glass window at the back, which means that the cabin never feels like a claustrophobic place to be in. Overall, a very impressive place. If you are someone who has a driver at home and are always sitting in the back seat and just want a car for the back seat, then this is a good option out there. 9.5 out of 10. Now let's see how good the boot on the all new i20 really is. Well, so overall the boot of the Hyundai i20 now is 311 liters, which is around 26 liters more than the older version of the car. And in terms of shape and size, as you can see, it's a nice and square boot, and I reckon that for a weekend getaway up to the hills from Delhi or anywhere else, of course, where you live, for a weekend getaway, this is more than sufficient. In fact, it's more than sufficient even for those monthly grocery trips to a big bazaar. There's a bit of a loading still, but you can easily forgive it because the boot really is quite nice and good. And another area where Hyundai has given good attention to detail is the fact that this car's Bose speakers also get a woofer, and the woofer has been neatly hidden away in the corner so that it doesn't eat up into the boot space. Overall, nice and impressive, and the boot gets 8.5 out of 10. Well, so overall, the all-new Hyundai i20 comes across as a very strong all-round package. In fact, it's the best car in the premium hatchback space. It's better than the Honda Jazz, better than the Baleno, and better than the Tata Altroz. It looks smashing on the outside. It offers you the best-in-class features. It offers you a very premium and a very plush cabin. And what I'm trying to say is that if you're in the market for a premium hatchback, or even if you're in the market for any other car, then this is a car which you should definitely go ahead and check out at a Hyundai dealership near you. It really is a no-compromise car, and it's one of the best new car launches of 2020. It's a definite thumbs up from my side, and with that, it's bye for now, and thanks for watching.